So this event is produced by the Public Eye, our monthly alternative newsletter with those co-sponsors. And we're always looking for new writers. We meet every Wednesday night here, 7 p.m. If anybody's interested, please think about joining us. The Public Eye is a project of the Urbana-Champaign Independent Media Center, a grassroots organization committed to media, arts, and technology for social change. The UCIMC is home to WRFU Radio, the Public Eye, Makerspace, Books to Prisoners, and a number of local artists. If you need the restroom, you can see there's one back here, but please don't use it during the performance. There are restrooms downstairs. There'll be 2 45-minute sets with a break in between. Dave has adopted several personas over the years, including George Stump, moderate clear cutter, George Shrub, notice the similarity to Bush, and Wild Bill Bailout. I don't think any of these characters will show up tonight, but expect the unexpected. In any case, you're in for a treat. Please welcome David Lippman.
I maybe could have had the same sponsor here each of the 7 or 8 times that I've come here over the millennia. But if you get a different sponsor every time, then they all show up eventually at the same show when the other people are boycotting it. And boycotting will be a theme this evening. We don't know why we're being boycotted. We do know there's a birthday party, and here we have no free cake. So that might be it. I'm going to do just a couple of songs to make it seem like it's a concert, and then I'm going to let you sing. What's the word I'm looking for? Not let, make you sing. Sorry. I'll keep away from that one. In the last 2 months, I've done more electoral work than in the last 40 years. There was never anybody to work for before. When I worked for Henry Wallace, well, that was my mother. Now we have this guy who seems set to triumph, to which I offer a qualified harumph. Kind of makes me fine for Hubert Humphrey. Who's old here? Who's old? I guess it's clear I'm talking about Drumpf. Now, for those who don't know, Drumpf is the original name of the father of a guy who actually is running now and didn't want to have to build Drumpf Towers. Well, when he talks about his weenie, and in many other ways resembles Mussolini, some allege his hands are Hitler. You wouldn't want him as a juror. He reminds me of the Fuhrer. As a racist, he's the rashest. As a sexist, he's the brashest. About Mexicans and Muslims, he's a crypto, not nice guy. When he goes out on the stump, grabbing rioters in a clump, had to lose the David Duke funk. Yes, he's a bit of a slump, a flump. Oh yes, he looks just like a mump. To spiff him up would take a sump pump. So far we've sadly failed in our attempts to dump the Donald. I'm not saying he's corrupt, but he does have a penchant for going bankrupt. Kudos to those who show up to disrupt his braggadocio and interrupt the generalissimo. It's fun to eulogize those who self-aggrandize. It's only for a year, so have no fear for this boy from the Queens. By all means, a big Bronx cheer. Sorry, I have to consult my notes a little bit here because I change these songs every day now. A little while ago I had some trouble as we started the silly season, trying to remember exactly why it was that I almost, but not quite, actually sort of didn't like Hillary. And then I came up with some mnemonics. So there's 3 W's, 4 W's. Walmart, war. You all remember she was on the board of Walmart. She was on the board of War Incorporated, still is, I think. They don't exist, but she's on the board. Wall Street, she's on the, team. And the 4th one is not yet in the song, the Welfare Reform Act of back in the previous millennium there, which her husband and she had a little bit of something to do with. The H's are in the song. Triple W and H too. That's how it goes. Walmart, War, and Wall Street are Hillary's three great loves. Check out www. Did I say W? She can't get enough. Then comes double H, Haiti and Honduras. It's a community of coups. Oh, gee, she got endurance. Walmart, War, and Wall Street. Hillary's three great loves. Down Central America way. Mining and clear cutting are her favorite sports. Never mind the indigenous folks. Let's get on with the exports. Who knows best? Multinational corporations, don't you see? Let's give them a fair shake, though they leave corpses in their wake from sea to slimy sea. So, triple dub and H2O, let us not redact welfare reform, which was really welfare retract. Sent single moms to bottom rung jobs at, oh, let me think now. Oh, let's just say Walmart. I believe it would be in history an utmost epic fail if Hillary and company don't all end up in jail. But she's a liberal, so you say. She fights for us. Hey, I'll bring you a Frappuccino when you wake up after having been thrown under the bus. She couldn't possibly be in the establishment. She's a woman running for president. She's better than Ted and Don, but she's still a center-right automaton. She's right on women's choice. About this we can rejoice. Won't release her bankster speeches. Wonder why. I don't mean to pillory Hillary, but it's time to be classified. Anyone with such a penchant for artillery makes me want to flee to a distillery. The most terrifying 14 words in the English language. I know it's true because it says so right there on Yelp. I'm from the center-right wing of a center-right party, and I'm here to help. Oh, thank you very much. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to tell you a little story about Detroit. We went over to Detroit, and danged if it wasn't there. Gone. But we went over to the art district there. Anybody ever been to Heidelberg Yard in the Detroit city there? Beautiful place. All kinds of entire empty houses made into art. Sad commentary, but beautiful work done there. And Code Pink went out there one day and buried a pink Hummer, and there it is. By the way, we're going to have some interesting audio visuals down here. My charming and militant wife, Mindy Gershon, is going to offer you sing-alongs and everything. You can ask her anything about workers, women workers, Palestine, women workers in Palestine. Pretty much she'll tell you. And you get more and more of the truth down there than you will up here. Up here it's got a rhyme, so. Anyhow, Code Pink buried the pink Hummer, and then he came into the bar where they just happened to find me. How'd they know that? And said, we need a funeral dirge for the pink Hummer. So this is one of the prime examples of my wholly owned and operated genre, unsingable sing-along. Give it a shot. Don't feel bad if you notice that even I can't do it. In a summertime when pollution is high, you can drive a Hummer and duck in the sky. When the weather is hot, we got oil wars and pollution on our mind. Have a drive, both seasons, pockets be lined. If your daddy's rich, which he really must be. Did I do it wrong? Dang, who wants to come up here and take my place? If your daddy's rich, he can make more plumes. If your daddy's poor, you can suck on a fume. Speed along the lane, waste 3 tons, oh, 3 tons and 25. Oh, when the sun goes down, no one's looking, so you're better on a bike. They'll thread people that dirty and mean. They're civilian tanks for civilian marines. They make so much oil, they destroy for the Caribbean Sea. Don't make us happy, life's for destroy. Now that's our philosophy. Sing along with us, did it da-da-da-da-da, Humpty Dee, we will bury you, never again to see your dancing on TV. Now we're happy life for living, yeah, that's my philosophy. Oh, when no end is here, then it's party time, bring the solar power, we'll be doing fine, we'll build buses and trains that run on CB, so rent and buckshot wine. No more guns and gas, no more fucking will in our lifetime. If your dad is rich, which he really must be, takes a shit on the door to drive a hot fucking bee. The ladder you're maxing out your visa credit card. Now we're better off now that we're buried in Heidelberg Yard. Sing along with us, dee-dee-dee-dee, da-da-da-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee, we will bury you, never again to see you dancing on TV. Now a happy life for living, yeah, that's our philosophy. Now a happy life for living, yeah, that's our philosophy. Well, that was Detroit, and that was depressing, so we said, where could we go where somebody's trying something different to actually have a society, instead of just pulling the rug out from under entire classes of people. So we went down to Cuba, and found that I had not been there myself, and I don't know what I was so busy with. I was a sandalista. That takes a lot of time, remember? All of us that went to Sandino Land, and then came back, and then tried to stop them from overthrowing it, but it turned out to be Reagan, and there was no stopping him. And so I asked Nancy, could you stop that? And Nancy said, not unless it's stem cells. Anyway, they are trying to do cooperatives down there now. And it's slow coming out of the gate, but very promising. Cooperatives all over the world. Some of you will know the system in Mondragon. Anyone has been there to Spain? Yeah? We'll be going there to check it out and see if they can tell us what to do here. There's a network of cooperatives in this country, quite a number of them. And you have here cooperatives, history here in town. So a little later, when we break into small groups to discuss, I'll go to the one that's going to tell me that. Anyway, here's a song you will know the tune. And I have not yet actually been arrested for stealing this. Arise, ye prisoners of hierarchy. Arise, ye workers with your tools. Cooperatives are in formation, transforming social rules. No more bureaucracy shall bind us. Arise, ye slaves of the heavy hand. We're called to the new foundation. Participation in our plan. 'Tis a new phase of history, searching for democracy. Incorporating everywhere the shift from I to we. 'Tis humanity's project, working for the social good. Community empowerment, all power to the hood. And which leads us directly to the question of Walmart. This is something those of you who came to my shows earlier on have heard this before, but you've never seen the video because it was made yesterday. Or whenever that was. Let's see. While we're pulling that up, what are you in the right folder? Desktop, go to desktop. Go to show vids, 2016, subfolder, fool the audience. While you're doing that, I got a little song for you. This is a dramatic, if not romantic piece. Good, I don't have to sing that. sing that later by popular demand of somebody that will pay. All right. We up?
Yep.
I've always hated Starbucks. Amazon almost as much. I'm not boycotting at least 3 oil companies that are starting to feel out of touch. I wouldn't be seen in Google Glass or any such. When it comes down to it, what's really important to me is that I really hate, and I hate to hate, but I do hate Walmart. I don't like whips. I don't like chains. I don't love chopping up my neighbor's brains. Don't really even like shopping, except at the flea market. I hate Walmart. If you didn't hear the story, well, here's how it is. The company sells below cost, drive mom and pop out of biz. Pretty soon all over the land, one big square store, identical brand. That's why I hate Walmart. Used to be you could drive around, stop in at 3 and 4 towns and examine different sights and sounds, different if not unique, different aspects, different smell, different things to buy and sell. Now it's all Taco Bell. Roads used to dip and wine, you drive slow, relax your mind, you never know what you find around the next bend. But now the freeway goes so straight, it go right past the pearly gate. I don't feel human, I feel like freight. I like to roam, I like to greet individuals on the street. You always know the one you meet is one of a kind. But more and more it seems to me a reflection of something on TV when we're all alike, nobody's free. I hate Walmart. I boycott Burger King. I boycott New Gingrich. I boycott everything which I see advertised. I used to go out to dinner and a diner, now they say fast food is fine, but it tastes like I fell out of an airline. It's enough to make you weep. I don't like board games. I don't like brand names. They make inflated claims. They're full of beep. Everyone I meet is a high-tech dealer, wants to sell me a digital potato peeler. At least we still got good old Garrison Keeler, but he's so white. There's a pretty spot and pave it over, put a clover leaf over a 4-leaf clover, black paint on the white cliffs of Dover never fail. They're banking billions, we make minimum wage. Whole towns closed up, where's the rage? Not that I believe in nations per se, but it just might be time to nationalize Walmart. And buy tchotchkes, and if they didn't have tchotchkes, we'd get some knickknacks. And what happens? First thing, we run into an indigenous theater group doing a play about Monsanto. That's the first thing. Then the next thing is we meet all these people who are working against the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and they educated us. We hadn't really been paying attention because we were too busy with, I don't know, something. So I went home to this wonderful house share that we had there that was like 18 times the size of the apartment in Manhattan for 1/18 of the price. And I wrote up a little piece that I'm sure that you're going to enjoy singing as soon as I teach you Spanish. Not that I know Spanish, so my version. You may know a slogan in Mexico, sin maíz no hay país. Without corn, there is no country. They arranged it especially so it rhymes. And actually, pretty much everything in Spanish rhymes, and that made it easy for me. The problem is that there are people who are intent on wiping out the native corn agriculture. Is family-based, rural-based, and have done so quite effectively with NAFTA, which has produced immigrants to the United States, looking for new jobs and of course providing many job opportunities for people like Donald Trump to run for office. So the people who are working so hard to destroy the country and its corn there are known as enemigos del maíz, enemies of corn. So I'm going to ask you to learn this because it's going to come up, and you're going to need it on the quiz very shortly. Everyone, 1, 2, 3, enemigo del maíz, enemigo del maíz. And when you have such enemies, it's very difficult to be happy, otherwise known as feliz. Feliz. See, the people shouldn't be allowed around expensive things. The people who are bringing in all this competition from the United States, mechanized and subsidized, are, of course, a corporate dictatorship or a dictadura corporativa. Dictadura corporativa. Never forget that. Esta no olvides. Esta no olvides. What they refer to the TPP and all such agreements as NAFTA on steroids, or as they say, NAFTA en esteroides. NAFTA en esteroides. Why they didn't just say it my way and keep it short, I don't know. The people doing the importing are, of course, agribusiness, as they say, agroindustria. Agroindustria. They are multinationals or transnacionales. But if we fight back and assert our rights, trying to build a society with good food and good health, buena salud. Some people will say that's impossible, es imposible, but working together we will build a just world, or un mundo justo. Now you know everything I know. You may remember NAFTA, enemigo del maíz, the Trans-Pacific Partnership won't make us más feliz. Attacking labor standards, safety and healthcare rights. Messi, I'm no redeemer, but I've seen this all before. If we all work together, dictadura corporativa will be. The TPP will trick you. It's no olvides. This global record wintering is NAFTA en esteroides. Local laws suspended, environment who cares? May say I'm a schemer, but before these guys are done, look forward to Wall Street, agro-industria. Trust the transnationales, they have your back for sure. For healthy food and families, Monsanto is the cure. Imagine all the countries obeying Uncle Sam. You may say they are schemers, out there nothing they want. How today will join us for the good of daughters and the son. Last verse. Trade agreements, good for earth, water, and air, instead of corporate bullying, an economy that's fair. Imagine all the people. We say it's impossible, operations on the earth. But if we all work together, un mundo justo will be. Oh, thank you very much. Here's an old one, you'll know it by heart, and then the words will turn out to be all wrong, so we'll put them up there for you. I don't want your million sisters. Oh, it's your fault that I am broke. All I want is a home and pension. Lost it all I propose we tell the banksters I don't think Jay-Z or me or you ever rhyme. Them banksters, when it's done, I can't hit on the two. I believe that the agreed should be relieved of their indebtitude. And why not those lousy lenders against America did collude? So I don't want your Lamborghini, and I don't want your private jet. All I want is a Prius EV. Oh yes, and please, my old job back. No, I don't want young businessmen. That would help to pay my rent. All I want is a health, jobs, and schooling. Long jail term for the 1%. Well, we want long jail term for the 1%. All right, we're all agreed on that. We won't have to break into small groups. I got one more for you, then we have to take a brief break because we're going to move the set just a little bit and bring up some skitsters, some local union actors. Well, that's what they told me. Anyway, and offer you a little debate. We don't want to all just sit around and agree with each other, so we're going to have a little debate on the Israeli boycott, divestment, and sanctions question. Those of you who know all about it will find that everything that we're presenting is kind of twisted. Those of you who don't know about it will learn a lot, much of it wrong, and then we may need the small groups again after. This is something I found when I was digitizing. You know, I've got all these cassettes that I found, and I had to go in the computer and look up how to play them, and get a machine and learn how to use it and everything. And because I understood, because I have two turntables, because I have some 78s, and so I don't. My grandmother's wind-up Victrola broke, but I have a turntable that'll play them, and the other one plays the LPs that run at the speed of 33, and the little ones with the big hole, little record, big hole, 45. Short thing, 45. I don't know if you know this, because there's been a lot of budget cuts in the schools in this country, so people don't know a lot of these things. That if you were born in 33, you turned 45 in 78. Think about this next time you're not playing one of those. But anyway, but the cassettes are amazing because they're just this tiny little low quality thing that, I mean, you can't make that quality that low on purpose. You need help there. And I found a song that I started to write in grad school, back when I was literate, some years ago in North Carolina, and I forgot about the song. And so I have rescued it more or less. It has a little sing-along that you'll cotton on to, as we say down south. Woke up this morning with a funny feeling of doubt. By the time I got to work, I had been contracted out. By lunchtime, I was downsizing all about. I asked what was the story. They said we had been bought out. They said, well, here's your 201k and your one Brussels sprout. Are we gonna leave it to the boys? Or are we gonna make some noise? We got the power, power, power. Together, together, together. Fly with me now. We got the power, power, power. Together, together, together. First they came to the housekeepers and I said nothing because I was not a housekeeper. Then looking clean. Well, what do we expect? They only diss, they don't respect. They got the money, but they give short shrift to the people who work on the night shift. Let me tell you something special about being an employee. Man, to be mistreated by the bourgeoisie. Are we gonna leave it to the boys? Are we gonna make some noise? We got the power, power, power. Stand together, together, together. We got the power, power, power. We stand together, together, together. We got the power, power, power. Well, take 5 minutes for me to take a nap, and then we'll move all this stuff. There's, what's that stuff called over there? They go at what speed does a CD go at? Y'all can look that up on your phones. We need 5 minutes.
In the tradition of the anti-apartheid South Africa movement or anti-Semitic pogrom. The debaters are obviously pro and anti-BDS. To choose the beginning order of opening statements, we've tossed a coin.
That's the coin toss sound right there.
But it landed on top of the separation barrier / apartheid wall, so we can't get to it. Anti is first in the alphabet, so to make up for that false privilege, we'll begin with the pros. I mean those in favor.
The boycott, divestment, and sanctions campaign was called in 2005 by 170 Palestinian civil society groups. After various efforts, both peaceful and violent, had been met with suppression and continued occupation and displacement. It is a time-honored method of addressing an imbalance in power by mobilizing world opinion and forcing Israel to rethink its relationship with its neighbors and the people it has conquered.
Well, that's an interesting twist. BDS is actually an attack on the only democracy in the region, the only place where gay people and women are free, if they stay off certain buses and don't question the security needs of the state. BDS is an attack on Jews because Israel is the home of the Jews, and everyone knows that everyone hates us because, as scholars have determined through rigorous investigation, haters gonna hate.
A cogent argument, but it leaves one point unanswered. Why this colonial seizure of land is permitted and others are not.
Well, that leaves unanswered why you are singling out Israel just because it wants to be above and beyond international law. Why can't you leave Israelis and Palestinians to work out their own affairs?
You mean leave them? Continuing to fund and UN vetoing for one side, like how we left South African to work out their differences through our quiet, non-existent diplomacy.
Oh, now you're comparing Israel to South Africa, just because they worked together on nuclear weapons and helped the natives to have their own spaces where they wouldn't have to live near white people. I mean, Jews. Colonizers. Well, anyway, civilized people. And not have to look at us in our swimming pools and our late model cars and our early model settler dominance.
Why are you fig-leafing Israel's occupation?
Why are you always singling out fig leafing? There are other leaves out there that are just as bad.
Why are you pink-washing apartheid?
Why are you singling out pink? There are other colors. I think you hate pink.
I guess the question is, would you rather have peace talks that are a cover for delaying any resolution until the last Palestinian house is demolished, or would you rather demolish the privileged regime and start looking for alternative models of neighborliness?
Look, BDS engages in defamation and demonization of Israel by depicting Israel as a racist, ethnocratic apartheid state.
Well, it's only defamation if it's not true.
You hate Jews, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose.
Listen, the noted objective scholar Alan Dershowitz has proved that BDS is actually anti-Palestinian as well. He pointed out, just for an example, that President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority opposes the BDS, and therefore the Palestinians oppose it by definition. Therefore, the only people supporting it are self-hating Jews. Incidentally, Dershowitz also said, quote, the BDS movement is immoral because it would hurt the wrong people, such as Palestinian employees of the firms affected by BDS, or let's say patients awaiting medicine made by those firms. Now I ask you, in what other alleged settler colonial state do the so-called colonizers give jobs to the so-called natives?
All of them? All of them?
So, do you oppose terror?
Of course.
How about state terror?
There's no such thing.
Hitler?
Okay,
The
yeah.
Guatemalan army,
Yes.
which was trained by Israel?
No.
What no?
That never happened.
From 1980 to 1986, they also trained the terrorist police in the United States?
Now you're just making things up. There's no terrorist police in the United States.
Oh, tell that to Michael Brown, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Rakia Boyd.
Look, Israel only trains dictators because it has been isolated and boycotted by others.
I wonder why.
Calls for boycotting any party do not contribute to the cause of peace. Negative campaigns only serve to promote hatred and extremism in the region.
Oh yeah, like the Montgomery Boys bus boycott was too negative and hateful. But still, isn't it kind of negative to demolish houses, deny permits to expand houses, uproot olive trees, and cut the West Bank into Bantustans?
God said that we could do that. We were gone for a while from the region, but
2,000 years.
Of suffering.
Also a long time for natives who've lived there all that time, you know. Long enough for some of them to convert from paganism to Judaism to Christianity to Islam to iPhones.
Maybe the practices are so intertwined with the goal of the state, which is to take someone else's country, that it's hard to tell the difference. And it looks like we want to dismantle Israel.
and lose your computer, GPS, gay rights.
But if land theft and ethnic cleansing are what Israel is, then what's legitimate about it?
I knew it. Why don't you just boycott the United States then?
I tried.
Oh, and now you hate America too?
The America of Andrew Jackson and Clinton and Trump? Heck yeah.
So why don't you just go to delegitimize that?
Working on it 24/7, 366. But if I try to find justice for Palestine, I'm called anti-Semitic.
Maybe you are anti-Semitic.
Being delegitimized by pro-ethnic cleansing Israeli shills. Nothing against shills, of course. I have a great relationship with the shills. In any case, governments are only legitimate when they have the consent of the governed. So said, I don't know, one of the Jeffersons.
Well, Jefferson had slaves, you
I
know.
agree.
Don't you agree with me?
The difference between the Israel boycott and all the non-existent boycotts you're using to change the subject is that the Palestinians ask the world to boycott and divest, and I try to do what people ask of me, especially if they're being dispossessed.
In reality, what BDS wants is to make life in Israel intolerable so that the Jewish nation will not be able to have a normal existence in its state.
Agreed.
Stop doing that.
Because it's not normal to settle on top of other people and then pretend they aren't there until they rebel, and then you say they hate you. I mean, that's like saying there's no one here and they're trying to kill us.
Well, BDS is not about opposing occupation. If it were, they would oppose other occupations. People of conscience would never use an iPhone since China has been occupying Tibet since 1951, nor would they drink Turkish coffee since Turkey has been occupying Cyprus since 1974. They wouldn't even drink Stoli vodka since it's made in Russia, which is occupying Crimea, right?
Yeah, but you're just quoting Shmuley Botea.
Yeah.
You just made that up.
No, really, he's a real guy, a rabbi. He calls himself America's rabbi.
Well, BDS in any case is not about Palestinian rights, because if it were, they would be boycotting Egyptian cotton because of Egypt's destruction of hundreds of Palestinian homes on the Gaza border.
Oh, you're quoting that guy again. Go
Look,
on.
look, BDS has no interest in promoting Arab human rights. If it did, they would divest from Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, Qatar, Syria, Lebanon, and every other Arab country where Arabs are denied the most basic rights.
That's a great idea. Could you speak to someone about cutting off military aid to the Saudis in Egypt and pulling our base out of Bahrain? I'm in.
Omar Barghouti, one of the co-founders of the BDS movement, openly calls for his version of the one-state solution, which for him means the disappearance of Israel and the establishment of a single state ruled by the Palestinians in what was Israel, the West Bank and Gaza Strip.
So you mean the exact opposite of the present situation, where Israel disappears Palestine and rules over the Palestinians.
That's not the situation.
Which bus goes to your parallel universe, and is it possible to get back from there?
You know, BDS is not for peace, despite what you say. It creates a hostile environment for Jewish students on campus.
Not for Jews who support BDS.
And who hate themselves.
They do, but not because they're Jewish.
Oh, now you're just quoting Woody Allen.
He's a respected scholar. And anyway, of course, people are hostile to Israel. It created a hostile environment for the people it ethnically cleansed from their lands and homes.
So now you're calling Palestinians dirt, right?
No, they're just in the path of the Israeli vacuum cleaner
Oh, without Israel, they'd still be using brooms.
and blackberries. But just because Israel is good at high tech doesn't mean that they get to grind their unwilling subjects into the dirt.
High tech, exactly. If you really believe in boycott, you should give up your computer with Intel inside and all the other Israeli contributions to humanity.
I've already given up Ben & Jerry's, Motorola, HP, way back in my purchase of Caterpillar bulldozers, and I make my own hoops. But anyway, if you oppose boycotts, how come you get to decide how a boycott works?
Because survival of the Jewish state trumps such details.
Do you support Trump?
Do you support Sanders?
Yeah, as long as I get to advise him later on the decolonization of Palestine.
You mean the destruction of the Jewish democratic state, right?
Democratic for Jews, if that. Would you like to live in a Christian and democratic United States of America?
Jews need a state.
On stolen land.
You hate Jews.
When they steal.
Oy vey.
It's mere.
Look, there was never ethnic cleansing. First of all, there was no one there.
Yeah, right. A land without a people for a people without a land.
Sorry. I meant to say they left voluntarily.
No, you meant to say, when you're caught in a lie, you have to move on to the next lie and make sure it's a bit more suave.
How about they don't value the lives of their children?
Good effort. But you also have to recognize the rights of refugees under international law.
You know, if refugees retained their rights permanently, my wife's family and my kids and grandkids could claim the property left behind in Poland when they were forced out by the Germans in 1939.
And, in fact, the Germans have been paying their victims reparations ever since. Palestinian refugees will be given a choice of payment or their house back, or a house of similar quality. You know, with a proper setup for making hummus, which is not Israeli, by the way.
Palestinians refuse to recognize Israel.
Israelis refuse to recognize Palestine.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, I know this. There is no Palestine.
Look, the state of Illinois just blacklisted 11 companies that declined to do business in the Palestinian areas that Israel occupies.
There is no occupation.
What would you call it?
There is no it. There's some land that Israel got back from Jordan and Egypt. It belongs to Israel.
Not to its inhabitants?
They could buy it.
They did. They have deeds to their houses, which are being destroyed.
Bad luck.
Moving on.
The most progressive politicians in America oppose BDS.
Yeah, like who?
Like Hillary Clinton.
Oh, I rest my case.
You don't support Israel's right to exist.
On top of Palestinian corpses. Promoting Palestinian human rights doesn't mean I don't support Israeli human rights. I just don't support government rights.
Governments are people too, my friend.
Touché. But again, only if they have the consent of the government. Otherwise, they're just dominatrices, dominatrites, overbearing.
You're just not against Israel's right to exist. You're against its artists. You demonstrate every time the symphony or the ballet comes over.
That's right, I do. That's because they're trying to portray Israel's prettier face.
Well, now you're just quoting.
Yeah, but who am I quoting? A former foreign minister of Israel.
They're trying to make people forget that Israel is an occupying power, gradually displacing the entire indigenous population into cantons and camps. So what you're doing is welcoming a troop of prison guards to perform their dance of death.
Hold on. You just called all Israelis prison guards.
The performers are funded by the state to go out as ambassadors for the state.
So you're against the free exchange of art?
Tell that to the Palestinian artists who can't get out, except that they never come back.
Aidan Reichel plays music with Arabs and Ethiopian Jews.
And troops before, during, and after they massacre Palestinians.
Oh, and then you tell musicians from here not to go perform there.
Because that would be going to entertain the prison guard.
Again with the guards.
When you've tried every method of protest and resistance, you have no choice but to boycott your oppressor. A whole subjugated people is being destroyed, and you think that by listening to the king's court jesters, we're going to get peace in the Holy Land? I want some of what you're on.
Look, we have to delegitimize the delegitimizers.
I will then work to delegitimize the delegitimizers of delegitimizing.
That's because you hate Jews.
Israel has delegitimized itself. It's its own worst enemy.
That's ridiculous. It's a democracy surrounded by hostile forces.
All of which it defeated long ago in 6 days.
And it is attacked from terror tunnels.
Because Israel terrorizes Gaza on the surface, killing and wounding many thousands of people. Gaza is surrounded, it's attacked from air, sea, and land. The people in Gaza have no defenses. They build tunnels and ineffective rockets. It's not only an open-air prison, it's a laboratory for testing new weapon systems before selling them to other oppressive regimes. Look, we're only interested in destroying the oppressive policies and practices of the settler colony of Israel, not Israel itself.
Well, then you shouldn't be boycotting. We should be talking. We're doing fine here. Why don't we just talk patiently with each other for another, couple generations? That's all we ask.
And we won't have time for all that this evening. But we do thank our debaters and wish them all well in pursuit of justice for land theft or whatever may be the case in their individual cases. Audience, show some love, or at least recognition that we've concluded.
Jeff, Mindy, and Mark, and Rick, without whom we would have been hostless. Social movements, human rights, when I was about 15 and I came home and there was no grapes in the house. And turned out that if we bought grapes, we were aiding the farm owners against the farm workers. And my mother patiently explained to me every day that I asked about the grapes, where the grapes went. But this is how I learned that one of the greatest things you can do in social movements, more so than voting or sometimes even marching, is to take your wallet, look at it very carefully, put it away, don't buy. And I've spent a lot of happy hours not buying things ever since, through a variety of requests for boycotts, including, of course, the present one in coming out of Palestine, and the divestment movement that goes with it, and of course the divestment from fossil fuels. Although I'm breaking the picket line with that vehicle out there, guzzling its oil. But if you pay a little extra on your way out, nobody told you how much it costs to get out of here. If you pay a little extra, I can get myself a Leaf or a Prius or something. Are we there? Oh, we're there already. Is it all the way on the screen, on the page? Or should they might have to guess at the first letter of each? We good? So you'll know the tune. This brand is not my brand. This brand's not your brand. From Delano. Oh, We good? Great fields to Montgomery buses, from Nestle's formula to fossil fuel stars. Well, this brand of me, you and me. I've roamed and rambled and followed the footsteps of corporate criminals, government accessories, and all around me a voice was sounding. This brand of me, as I went walking, I saw South Africa and the apartheid system with Polaroid passports. I didn't play Sun City, and I'm not that shitty. Well, that work I was me to keep us buying. Sometimes they lie, maybe domination is the occupation. They do aggression, even dispossession. Well, that brand's not me. This brand's not my brand. It's a brand, not your brand. It oppresses workers, it oppresses women. So don't buy bombers till you get full and this brand's not me. This brand's not my brand. This brand's not your brand. If it seems the wages, if it seems the farming, if it takes the power, 1/10 of 1%, this brand's not made to be with me. This brand's not made to be with me. Hands up. Not you, not you guys. That's just a code we use. We good? Do you have to press the play? Hover the thing down at the bottom, and cursor down. Let's see if there's a little play button in there. No, nothing. See if I can decode what that is. There you go. Michael Brown went down, paid dead, stayed dead 4 hours to show the power of the powers that be. This is if you up, all the way. This system is deranged. Tanks in the city, tear gas in our eyes. Your average police smokes pot, almost always lies. Military occupied round between the teams. Has anything really changed? Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, and Michael Brown. If the list gets any longer, this whole system will go down. Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, and Michael Brown. If the list gets any longer, this whole system will go down. Wives and children traumatized, why you killing us some other ass? Nothing left to live for, feels like slavery time on the edge. State gone with no charges filed. Death by assembly line. They could have tried anything besides 6 shots to kill. No job, bad schools, worse cops, call it what you will. The white's gonna get it, goes on because we let it. Hands up, don't shoot. 2 days later, 7 more shots, and the child follows democracy robs American truth, bear strange food. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Looks like Katrina, looks like Gaza, looks like South Africa. Warehouse, the poor colored police lied, justice died. Black caught in the job, cops are the cause. Where's our nation of laws? Tommy Rice and Freddie Gray, Sandra Bowles and Sandra Bland. All the killers must be jailed, there must be justice boats and sand to blend. All I get is be jailed and be just in the land. Oh, thank you very much. We got a couple more for you here. This one, according to the focus groups, you're going to enjoy this one. I'm going to go to the title song from the CD released this week called You Don't Own the World. Again, this is not directed at you personally. I know you don't own the world. That's old news. This is directed at 2 or 3 banksters that Hillary spoke to. And it's, you know where it's at? It's in the, it's sort of down at the end of, yeah, you're on the right track there. It's like probably the last one. No, not the last one, but close to the last one there. Not there? Does anybody see it? It's the one that goes, "My country's not for sale," and all that. Yeah, near the end of that. Near the end of that file. Yeah, I skipped one. So I can sneak it in later in the encore. I used to do 4 encores, but I'm only do 3.
Shall not be moved?
No, it's called You Don't Own the World, and it starts out, "My country's not for sale." And it's in that same file there. You want me to help you locate it? I could tell a story about how it came to be known that that they don't own the world.
You don't know the world?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Found it there? Okay. So what happened was that I wrote the song and now I'm going to sing it. They stole 11 trillion and no one went to jail. We're not going to sit around and wait for them to go to hell. If we work together, there's a chance we will prevail. So everybody stand and shout, "My country's not for sale." Here we go. My country's not for sale. My country's not for sale. My country's not for sale. You crooks are going to jail. They run amok all in Iraq. Around the world they still attack. We cannot make them take it back, but we can give them all the sack. If we work together, we can overturn this clack. They're worse than mess and crack. Get your Gucci bags and pack. 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 You crooks are going to jail. They make us buy with our tax checks their military-industrial flex. We'll all become their drone objects. It feels like really awful sex. If we work together, we can all be King and Malcolm X. So everybody stand and shout, "No, you don't own the world. No, you don't own the world. No, you don't own the world. No, you don't own the world." Wow, that was good. No, you don't own the world. All right, I got one more tune for you. This is an oldie. This is oldie with a newy-ish video. We put this video together for my 50th anniversary of doing whatever this is. When I find out, we'll have a whole other tour. But I got a nice band together for that, and we had Mindy on the keys, and we even had a drummer who drowned me out, which made it very entertaining. Some of you will know this. This is the Concord one there. Crusaders. fight for the Ottomans, the empire of the Tsar. When they asked me to kill in their colonies, I said, who do you think you are? And I didn't fight for the Nazis, no, I fought for the Jews. And when Israel asked me to conquer, you know I had to refuse. And I didn't crown a Shah of Iran, Greek colonels or a butcher in Zaire. I didn't bank on Franco or apartheid or any rule by fear. I don't like to kill, never have and never will. And I will fight for freedom, the battle we have killed. I don't fight for conquerors, even if they're presidents. You can try to buy me with dollars, they must think I've got no sense. I don't my silence when my country bombs a town. I don't fight conquerors, I fight to bring them down. I didn't overthrow Chile, slaughter peasants in El Salvador. When they went in with shock and awe, I knew exactly what it was for. I didn't send them to be tortured, leave their families living in dread. I didn't build prisons all over the world, pretend it was freedom I spread. Yes, they say they're spreading democracy with their soldiers and their CIA. Is that why they propped up Mr. Marcos, Suharto, Duvalier? Vietnam and Iraq I protested, while all of my presidents lied. When presidents stoop to conquer, I'm on the other side. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mindy, Jeff, Mark, Rick, Al, and all of you. We'll be back here, same place, 1 year from. We're going to do it at midnight, though. Thanks a lot. It was said that Bernie Sanders only had one issue. So that was kind of narrow. How many people would care about the fact that the rich people had all the money? But when I went to write the song, it turned out that it took 17 verses to get to the point. We'll just do a few of those here. When we stand up and feel the burn, when we stand up and feel the burn, well, I won't be in that number. When we stand up and feel the burn, when we stand up for workers' rights, a living wage, yes, that's all right. Well, I want to be in that number. When we stand up for workers' rights, when we stand up for LGBT, it's hard to spell. When we stand up for me and you. Well, I want to be in that number. When we stand up for LGBT, when we stand up and when we dream, those immigrants are a mighty stream. Well, I want to be in that number when immigrants have the right to dream. And when we shout that Black Lives Matter, we're not just making our shadow. From our grave, every corner, to the yellow fish on the street. That's what we do. We leave that up there. On your way out, feel it. Just feel it. Feel it into the parking lot. Feel it all the way home. Feel it all the way to the polling booth. Feel it all the way to the organizing, what they are now calling the afterburners. Thanks for being here.